ほら、音がする。お。
So I have the foundation of the build laid out. I have an expanse of water on top, a layer of white stained glass, and the reason I did that is because I want to kind of give this visual that the sun is reflecting off the water. It's a little hard to see with the shaders I have on, but I think that's the moon down there that kind of gives that visual effect. It looks a little different vanilla, but I prefer to keep my shaders on. I do also have the base for the wall started over here, and I plan to build under the glass, and as I build up, I'll build down as well and kind of have that reflect or appear to reflect off the water. Okay, so there's the template for the wall finally fully laid out. The only issue I've really run into is there's quite a big shadow cast on this wall. So from the top it looks a little darker, but I don't think that looks bad necessarily. So I'm gonna get started, I think, adding all the pipes across the wall now. I'm just gonna turn mob spawning off because I feel like once I add water flowing down from these pipes that a bunch of glow squids and whatever else, or maybe not glow squids, but normal squids and fish are gonna start coming out because I think they spawn in that kind of water. Flowing water, I mean. Water that's deeper than 1 block. So I added some water flowing out of the pipe, but I also did some work down here. I replaced all the blocks with blue stained glass. I felt like the reflection before was too harsh and dark, and this blue glass kind of helped light come through as well as give it a nice blue color, which just is nice underwater. So I'm really happy with the way this looks. I think now I'm going to add a little railing atop the wall and finish up adding all the pipes. Okay, so I finished up adding the railing atop the wall as well as the reflection. I didn't use glass for the reflection because I couldn't really get a good shape. Or I guess I didn't try, but I just didn't really want to use glass for that. One issue I have, hold on, I'm gonna do a jump cut because this is a very long flight. Well, I guess it's not really too big of an issue, but I need this post to end up right here. So I'm just gonna make another strip of wall. Actually, look at me. I'm gonna do this without the fill tool. I don't think I'm gonna put this entire thing in the video, but I'm doing it. Look at me go. See? Imagine me doing that. I imagine this is like 100 or more blocks long. That would be something. Okay. Oh, I have to build the reflection. Okay, one moment. Okay, so I got the reflection all filled out as well as this wall. It's all set. I do want to expand this water out because this wall, now that it's ending here, it's going to expand that way. I'm going to do the same thing on the other end, but the other end is going to actually have a set of stairs, which I'm actually going to work on right now. I know I said I was going to work on adding pipes, but I'm really excited to do the stairs because I'm really happy with the design and how it turned out. So I'm going to go pop these stairs down and expand the water out a bit, as well as expand this wall down that way. I fell. So I finished up the stairs and I'm really happy with the way they turned out. I went with moss carpets on top of chains to give it kind of a great look, I guess you could call it. It's kind of like those metal stairs that come down on big industrial buildings. So you get those little gaps in between when you're walking up them. And I really like the way that looks. I also have these little support beams coming down on the side. I'm going to cut down on the platform a little bit here because I found a better reference image, and there's a little concrete wall here, and then the water just falls off the edge. And I feel like scale-wise, it's good to end it about here. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I cut down a bit on the platform, and I think this looks a lot nicer. Now I'm going to add a building right here. Also, in that reference image I got, I found that there's actually 9 pipes. I thought there was 8. So I'm going to have to expand the wall down that way a little bit as well to accommodate for the extra pipe. Alright, so I finished up adding the railing atop this wall. I expanded it one more out so that way the post ended evenly right there. I also did the stairs down here. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I used panes for the stairs themselves and then used blocks for all the supports. I also layered white stained glass behind all my blue glass, and the reason I did that is because it makes the reflection a lot less harsh when you're looking out towards another reflection, if that makes sense. Like if you were to come out here and look in towards the stairs reflection, it's a lot more difficult to see compared to if there wasn't glass there. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and I think I'm actually going to start working on the pipes now. So I finished up building all 9 pipes, and I'm very happy with the way this turned out. I did change the way the water's flowing. I like this a little better, having those little strips of, I guess, nothing in between the water. I also did all the reflections underneath, and I think that looks very nice. When you view it up close, it's a little... I mean, you can tell it's glass for sure, but it's definitely meant to be viewed a little bit from a distance, so I'm okay with that. I did also have to expand the wall quite a lot to accommodate for the rest of the pipes, and I did build this little corner over here just to match with the other end of the build. I also changed the reflections of the railing to glass. Originally, I had glass panes down there for the walls on top, but I changed it to glass because I think it looks a little better. And I think that's just, oh yeah, I added snow on top of the pipes too. I think what I'm actually going to start doing is working on detailing the wall, giving it a little bit more texture. I don't plan to add blocks in. I like this kind of blank canvas, I guess you could say, and I plan to kind of layer on top of it. Rather than using other blocks of a similar color, I'm going to use things like glass and candles to kind of add a bit of texture and wear to the wall. Alright, so I've finished adding the details on the wall, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. It helps add some variation instead of just having this big blank wall spanning out into the distance. Up close, you can definitely tell it's very three-dimensional. Like, this is a candle, this is a pane of glass, but it's more meant to be viewed from back here, and I feel it kind of helps it blend when you view it from back here. So I'm happy with the way this turned out. I think I'm going to start working on the little strips of rubble that go between the pipes in the reference images. And then after I get all those strips done, I am going to work on the cranes that are positioned at the edge of the water over here. Okay, so I've made a pretty big mistake. I accidentally built the cranes where the towers are meant to be, and the towers where the cranes are meant to be. And this took me a very long time to build all 20-some towers. I'm just happy I didn't build all the cranes too. So I'm gonna need to do all of this again, so it actually matches the reference material that I'm basing this all off of. I think I'm gonna use World Edit because I really don't want to build all these towers again. I love this tool so much. Alright, so I went in with World Edit and I fixed all the cranes and pasted them along, and then I pasted all the towers and I just went through, broke them down, added some variation, did all the reflections, added a little bit of chunks in the water of ice and concrete, and I am really happy with the way this is turning out. I am going to add a little bit of variation on the railing. I unfortunately can't add snow because they're slabs and they don't like snow. At least these slabs don't. So I can't do that, but I can kind of break it up to make it look a little more worn down. And then I'm going to add buildings in the distance and all around, and I think I can finally call this project done. I finally finished adding all the buildings to the project, as well as some supports for the stone layer above all these structures. I deviated a bit from the source material and went for a white void rather than a dark one. I felt it kind of helps give the visual of clouds formed by rushing water. I also decided not to include the layer above the facility seen in the images, as I'm almost at build height and I felt it would be a lot to manage. But besides that, I'm very happy with the way this build turned out, and I can finally call it done. This video is a bit of a warm-up for some of the builds I have planned next, so I could get comfortable editing and recording in this style. But thank you all for watching. Bye-bye. Here's what the build looks like without shaders for anybody that was curious. I feel like that's kind of something I should show off, because my shaders make everything a lot brighter than what they actually are.